What's up, Vegas Sports Nation? The Bat Fry, Kenny Fry here. Saturday night. What else you got to do, right? Yeah, that rhymes, I guess, a little bit. I hope everybody's doing well. The rain has subsided here in Pennsylvania. Thank the Lord. I didn't have to go out and build a boat, or we'd all be screwed in the Fry family. The Fry house would be we'd drown. That'd be it. Anyway, let's kick this show off. Let's get this show on the road. Talking a little bit of Raiders to start the show. There's been a lot of rumors recently with Marcus Peters, and he made a visit to Las Vegas I think it was a couple of weeks ago. From everything that I've heard, everything has gone well. Everything it was a good meeting, it was a good visit. The Raiders just haven't made an offer yet. Is that due to the Josh Jacobs contract talks? Is that due to just going to wait until July? I think early. I think sometimes you see the free agents that are still lingering around that are like with the veteran status that's been around for a while. Sometimes they go in July, late July, early August. Once you see training camps, we just had a mini camp just ended. I think a week or two ago. So, sometimes you see a lot of those veterans starting to get picked up as you see needs arise and stuff, or even injuries occur. So is that something that the Raiders could be waiting on, potentially, or they figure, we're good enough in the cornerback area that we don't need to pursue Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters has been a dickhead to us in the past when he was with the Queefs, and so you remember the whole fight. Him and his cousin Marshawn Lynch, was a run back for the Raiders, and so Marshawn goes out there and tries to break the fight up, and whatever. But I think Marcus Peters would be a great addition, a nice veteran presence back there in the secondary. We did pick up a couple guys this offseason, Duke Shelley, David Long, and we brought back Brandon Faison, and we also drafted Jacorian Bennett in the fourth round. So it's kind of crowded a little bit, plus the guys that we already had coming back at cornerback. But, I mean, Marcus Peters tore his ACL 2021, 2022, comes back, plays 14 games, including postseason. Not a great season for him, but his stats would be all-star type stats for the Raiders secondary. He did have one interception. I think our best was I think it was Amik Robertson. I think he had two. I think that was our highest interception total. So he Marcus Peters, if he came in today, he would be probably our best secondary player, or top two, which is sad. It's very sad. There it is, first comment of the night. Adam Glenn, what's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy? Hey, you kind of petered out on us last night on the Atomic Drop podcast, our wrestling podcast. You were full of vip and vigor, and all of a sudden you were gone. Adam Glenn had to go to bed. Couldn't hang with the 2.5 hour show. Man, it was an epic. It's good to see you, Adam. Thanks for checking in, buddy. So I don't know. I don't think the Raiders are going to sign him. I think they'll throw a number his way, but I don't think he's going to take it. I think he'll probably find somewhere else to go for more money. Adam Glenn says it was late. You're right. It was late, but sometimes you got to put the big boy pants on, Adam, and go for it all. And then we have our boy, the mayor of Las Vegas, Vegas Rob, checking in. Vegas Rob will be back, I believe, in 2 weeks. Yep, July 8th. Says, greetings, brother. Can't wait to return July 8th. Actually, the July 8th show would be my 1 year anniversary on doing shows with the Las Vegas sports scene. Rob brought me in, and I've been doing it ever since. I started off, I think, the very first episode with Paul. I was at a softball tournament, so we did it in a hotel room, and I was drinking some Yingling. I don't know if it was Flight or Lager, but I was very, very nervous. I'm not so nervous, too much anymore, but every once in a while I kind of lose my train of thought, and I get a little nervous then because I'm like, what the hell am I going to say? Because I can't remember what the hell I was going to say. So back to Marcus Peters. I don't think they're gonna. If they do offer him something, I think it's gonna be on the low end. Like a 1 year. Very like I wouldn't say league minimum for a veteran or for a cornerback, but something very small. They really need to be focused in their their negotiating thoughts to Josh Jacobs and whether or not they're going to bring him back. If they're not going to bring him back, get rid of him. I'm sick of the drama. So that's my thoughts on the Marcus Peters rumors. Recently have been floating around a lot. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't think anything's going to happen. But move on to the Josh Jacobs drama. So if you follow the show regularly, you know that I talk Josh Jacobs a lot, especially during a regular season. Fantastic year last year. Really showed what he was worth. I do think he's worth a long-term contract. So I do think he's a durable running back. He doesn't take many big shots. He doesn't take a lot of big hits. Catches well out of the backfield. Needs help blocking a little bit, but if it's one of those situations where it's 3rd and 18, what, take him out anyway and put somebody else in the block. So, but anywhere 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, where you can get a running back out of the backfield for a short pass reception, keep him in the game. But anyway, getting off track there. So I believe that they should have signed him to a long-term contract already. They didn't, so they offered them the franchise tag, and he said prior that he would sign the franchise tag if the Raiders proved that they were going all in, if they were surrounding loading the team up with high price talent or talent, period, good talent. And he said it's not about the money, and it's about the team. And if the team's going for it, then he will sign the franchise tag. So with him not signing the franchise tag, that tells you one thing, that he believes that the team is not all in, that they're not going for it. So now he's looking for the money. He wants to, he's doing this for all of his boys. He's doing this, for all the other running backs in the NFL, present and future. So all of a sudden, a couple months ago, they weren't his boys. It's about the team. Now he feels like the team's not going for a championship. He's about his boys. He's trying to take a stand here for running backs everywhere. So that's a joke. That's a goddamn joke, in my opinion. Got some Gears iced tea with some pink lemonade moonshine mixed in there. I got from Tennessee. I'll tell you what, that's fantastic. That is delicious. I got probably about 2 shots, a shot and a half, 2 shots in there. That's some good stuff right there. So anyway, back to Josh Jacobs. I think he's full of crap. I think it's always been about the money. I still want him back. I think he's a phenomenal player. Not that this matters, but I have lost respect for him. Either you're about the position and taking a stand for the position, saying that you're going to get paid, or you're not. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion, anyway. And I'm totally fine if he came out and said, you know what, I think running backs need to get paid. If I take a stand now, this is going to help running backs in the future, because I do think running backs are a very important part of the team, very important part of the offense, especially with all these different hybrid type running backs that have been coming out the last couple of years. They're not all they're not all Derrick Henrys, not Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. They're not all Derrick Henrys where it's smash mouth, carry the ball 30 times for, 200 yards. They're not all smash mouth players, because he's a bruiser. He goes up the middle and he bruises. A lot of them are slash type runners, don't take that big hit, catch well out of the backfield and very fast. So I would have understood if he would have said, I'm taking a stand for the future guys. And, if I take a stand and maybe like I don't know, Dalvin Cook, I think he wants out of Minnesota. If he's somebody like that takes a stand, maybe the contracts in the future will be bigger for present and future running backs. I get that. I 100% get that. But that's not how he came out, out there after the season last year. After the season, it was, well, if the team's all in, if the team's going to bring in some talent, it's not about the money. I'm all in. You can't have it both ways. You cannot do it, in my opinion, anyway. You may feel differently. If you do, go ahead and shoot a comment here. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Like I said, I think that they need to re-sign him. I think it's very important to re-sign him. If they don't, we still do have Zamir White, and I have faith in Zamir White. We just didn't see a whole lot of him last year. I don't think Zamir White's going to be a Josh Jacobs, because he's only a handful. He's like the top 5. He's a top 5 running back. Zamir White's not a top 5 running back. Maybe not right now, but he could be. But right now, he's not a top 5 running back. And They didn't like Dalvin Cook maybe out there, so like that. So you go out and then you pay somebody else anyway. So it's I'd rather keep Josh Jacobs in house. He's already familiar with everybody, and but I'm sick of the drama. Either you sign him or just trade him away, and either way I'd be fine. A couple months ago I would have been kicking and screaming, but now I've had enough of it. The whole Twitter, he's putting out tweets now, like what was it, bad business the other day? He just 2 words, bad business. And so now all the speculation, contract talks with the Raiders and Jacobs are going horribly. Then he comes out 2 days, 3 days later. No, I didn't mean contract talks. It's a Roblox game that I'm playing called Bad Business. Get the hell out of here with that. My freaking 10-year-old's playing Roblox. Freaking Josh Jacobs playing Roblox and then putting it on Twitter, bad business. Whatever, dude. It's so retarded. I can't handle it. It's probably not the politically correct term. It'll probably get me banned for some reason, but my apologies. But it's stupid. It really is. It's nonsensical. Be a man about it. Either you're in or you're out. Either you're doing it for future running backs or you're doing it for the team. You can't have it both ways. Eileen, well, hello, Eileen. How are you? Welcome to the show, Eileen. Adam Glenn beat you. Bring in Zeke. I'm really surprised he hasn't signed anywhere yet, but I expect he will probably sometime in August. Like I said, usually like when training camp hits, preseason hits, you start seeing injuries or needs, you know what, maybe we're a little bit weak here. We could use another running back. I think you'll see Zeke get picked up probably somewhere around there. And, that ain't bad for him either. He doesn't need a training camp, to be 100% honest with you. He's a veteran. He's been around for a while. He doesn't need that wear and tear on his body anyway. So, I could see him getting picked up. Hopefully he does because, he deserves to get picked up. I thought he had a decent season last year, splitting time with the Cowboys' other running back whose name is escaping my mind right now. I'm sure there's a Cowboy fan out there who might tell me what his name is. Eileen says, I was trying to think of something funny to lead off, but I didn't want to hurt myself thinking. Don't hurt yourself thinking, Eileen. I've given up on thinking a long time ago. It's all just words that are coming out. Rob says, keep Jacobs, get it done for fuck's sake. I agree, Rob. I want him to stay in Las Vegas, but I'm over this. I'm over the whole Twitter stuff, and you know what I mean. It's nonsense. It really is. It's baby shit. It doesn't look good on him. It doesn't look good on the Raiders. Sign him or trade him. That's it. Or even they can trade him now. I don't know. Maiko Spencer says, what's that? Dalvin Cook, an option. He could be, because I guess I don't know if he's out of Minnesota or he wants out of Minnesota. I don't know what it is yet. I did read the article a couple days ago. I feel like he's out of Minnesota, but I could be wrong. It's crazy. Franchise tag for QBs are $35 million. Offensive tackles are 24. Ds are 20. Running backs are 10 to 12 million. And so that I think that's the biggest issue with Josh Jacobs is with the franchise tag. I think he said he'd be making $10.5 million dollars this year, which to you and I, that's money that we'll never ever see. We'll never experience that kind of wealth, but it's not guaranteed either. So you get hurt. You lose your ass. So I understand it. I get it. You wouldn't take a lottery ticket and, just crumble it in your pocket and say, oh, I'll cash it in later. You wouldn't do that. You go try to cash it in right away. I understand. But the whole drama with it is nonsensical. The Raiders don't need that. We're a bad franchise. We're a terrible team. The last thing we need is our star running back to be a dickhead on Twitter. Thank you, Maiko. That's who I was winking at. I was winking at you about Pollard. And they released him. Okay, they released Dalvin Cook. That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was he requested to be released or requested to be traded, or I couldn't remember what it was. So that's my thoughts on Josh Jacobs. Like I said, we do have Zamir White. And a couple Patriots running backs, Brandon Bolden and I can't think of who the other guy is right now off the top of my head. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. But we do have Zamir White. That's who I think would be our number one going in, unless we sign somebody else. And you just go into the season like that. If you're not going to re-sign Jacobs, go into the season like that. I just think letting it drag on is bad for everybody. Bad for him, bad for us, bad for the NFL. There we go. Adam Glenn says, my out-of-the-box prediction, Davante Adams will be on the Jets by this time next year. So people that don't know, Adam Glenn, about this time last year, maybe it was a little bit later. It was a little bit later because I wasn't on the show yet. Maybe like 2 months later, predicted that Jimmy Garoppolo would be the quarterback of the Raiders this season. And we laughed at him. We made fun of him. We mocked him. Adam was right. So this prediction here, Davante Adams will be on the Jets by this time next year. You're insane. He will not be on the Jets. Now, if you said somewhere like he'll be in Kansas City, in Denver, Philadelphia, okay, maybe I could see that. But the Jets, they went out there and they made a lot of moves already. I just cannot see it being the Jets. But you're 1-0. So I don't know, Adam. The Adam Glenn crystal ball is working overtime. Eileen says Josh Jacobs might earn his contract for next year if Jimmy G keeps being injured. Well, Josh Jacobs is not going to play. I'm pretty sure he stated something to that effect, saying that he's taking a stand for running backs present and the future. So to me, that tells me that he's not going to play. So Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, earned his contract last season. He was our offense. He was the most consistent part of our offense. He was also the most neglected part of our offense. The first, 3 games of the season, you heard me on here ranting and raving. Why in the hell is Josh Jacobs only getting 10 to 12 carries a game and averaging 5.5 yards a carry? Give him the ball 20 times a game. 20 to 25 times a game. Give it to him. Just keep feeding him. But I think all 3 of those games we might have had a lead. I know definitely 2 of those games we had a lead. I think all 3 of those games we might have had a lead, though, to run the clock down. But no, we didn't. We said we run him 10 to 12 times and let Derek Carr pass 35 times. And we know Derek did not give us his best last year, according to Derek. So, Eileen, what do you think about Adams' prediction of Davante Adams being a Jet next year, by this time next year? That had to be via a trade, because the Raiders have him signed, I think, for, I don't know if it's 5 to 8 years, somewhere around there. Maiko says Jets have no money to do anything anymore after Rodgers till 2025. Rodgers $51 million till then. And that's what I mean. They made a lot of moves, picking up some of Rodgers' wide receivers from Green Bay and from elsewheres. Davante proved this year that he doesn't need Aaron Rodgers. He had Derek Carr at Derek Carr's I wouldn't say Derek Carr's worst, but not at Derek Carr's best. And he still had, I think it was 1,500 yards receiving and 15 touchdowns, something like that. 100 receptions. It didn't need he didn't need Aaron Rodgers. Eileen says Adams is my hero. Eileen said, I don't know. Depend on what Adams wants. He's not a free. No, he's not a free agent. They signed him. I don't remember the length of the contract. I feel like it's like 5 to 8 years, somewhere in that range. It's a decent sized contract with a lot of money tied to it. So it'd have to be a trade or a release. If they release him, I assume they'd eat a whole lot of that contract, and that would not be good for our salary cap. Even though we have a decent sized salary cap, we have one of the highest caps in the league, which still doesn't make sense why we did not sign Josh Jacobs yet. So, maybe we're waiting to see what happens with Jimmy G, if he's going to be able to play or not, if his salary, if his contract's going to be voided because of his little foot. Maybe we're going to go out there and look to sign the oldest Patriot quarterback available that's in our front office. You know who I'm talking about. I ain't going to say his name. I won't do it. Eileen says, at this point, we have enough wide receivers. If he was a free agent, fine, but no trade. And that's what, the Jets have a lot of wide receivers. Off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of any names right now, but I know there's a couple guys that played with Rodgers. I can't think of his name. I could see him. I felt like he wore a number in the teens, but I can't remember his name. Eileen says, we are the New York Packers now, just like we are the Las Vegas Patriots. Yes. Hey, if it leads to wins, though, Eileen, call them what you want. Right? Yeah, if it leads to a Super Bowl, it is what it is. Maiko says, Rodgers, $51 million. CJ Mosley, linebacker, $17 million. Lazard, that's what I was thinking of. Alan Lazard, $11 million. $80 million and 3 players for Keys. Yeah. Yeah, but if you know what, if they produce, it's all worth it. If it produces a Super Bowl, it's 100% worth it, in my opinion. Especially for the Jets. Only having that one Super Bowl back when Joe Namath was quarterback. What was that, the 60s or 70s, whatever that was? Super Bowl III. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be 100% worth it. To have all those salaries on your table for a couple of years. Maiko is now a Jets fan, I think. That's what he's saying there. He bleeds green. Garrett Wilson is nasty. Yes, he is. There she is, Stacy Northrup. You can catch Stacy on Mondays on the Big Blue Power Hour. Hello, Stacy. How are you? Your daughter plays softball. How's that going? Is she still playing softball, or is that over with? We had a tournament this weekend. Our games were rained out yesterday, so now we have a compressed, shortened schedule tomorrow, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. I know it. Adam Glenn, the Philly Bulldogs. Yeah, the Philly Bulldogs, all the Georgia Bulldog players they have, and so all the Philly fans were all, the Philly Bulldogs. So it was kind of catchy, when they first did it. I thought it was funny. Oh, my God. She tore her ACL. That's terrible. I tore my ACL when I was a sophomore in high school. I was playing volleyball in gym class, and I jumped up to hit the balls in the air. I came down, and I hyperextended my knee backwards, and I felt the pop. And now I have a couple screws and a metal graft in my knee. So I know the pain, and I know the long road to recovery. I heard it. I think it was I want to say February. It was January, February. And I was back to playing football. I think August. I think I made it back in time for double sessions. I missed captain's practice, but I think I made it back for double sessions, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. I was going to therapy, physical therapy. I think it was 4 days a week, and I was going for about an hour and a half each day. I was busting my ass to get back, and I get back, and it was just too soon. It was. I wasn't the same person. I was always nervous about it, constantly tugging at my brace and messing with it. I think if I would have, taken the year off, which I did not want to do. I think if I would have taken the year off, it would have helped me out better in my senior season. But it is what it is, right? Tell her to take her time with it. Don't push it. When she's ready, she'll know. That's a shame. I hate that. I hate seeing stuff like that. We had not to get too far off Las Vegas sports. We had a girl on the high school basketball team this year, senior, tear her ACL in the playoffs, and she was also a softball player, and she missed the softball season because of it. She's senior, so she's going to college and stuff like that. So, but she was still with the team, going to all the games and the practices and stuff like that. And the team ends up winning the state championship, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to play with them. So that's a huge bummer for her. But she was still a part of the team, still got the experience and stuff. But I couldn't imagine tearing my ACL my senior season. Actually, my senior season, I dislocated my kneecap, which tore my meniscus, and I played my senior football season on because I didn't want to miss my season. And I was just, it was so painful every day. It was terrible. And I ended up having surgery after the football season, and my knee has not been the same since. So yeah, knees are tough, man. Knees are really, really tough. My best wishes go out to her. Hopefully, speedy recovery. Just like I said, don't rush it. She'll know when she's ready to go back, and listen to the doctors. Maiko says, Adam, about this time last night, you were dozed off on us. I was up till 1 a.m. with the atomic drop, but 2.5 hours we were rolling last night. And Adam made about an hour and a half of it, hour and a half. Adam said it was bedtime. So Adam said he couldn't hang. He had things to do in the morning, I guess. Absolutely, Stacy. So that's what I have on Josh Jacobs. I feel like they should sign him, but if they're not going to sign him, then trade his ass away now. Let's end this. It's a joke. It's a stain right now, and that's something the Raiders don't need, especially after the Vegas Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup, the Las Vegas Aces winning the WNBA championship last year and coming out like a ball of fire this year so far. And, all the Oakland Athletics, moving to Vegas, all that talk. The Raiders, they look like the pits right now. Even though, the Athletics are the shits, they're terrible. But right now the Raiders are the ugly spot right now. So, everybody's, they're just kind of shining on the Athletics right now because, the new stadium, there's like a lot of, good talk right now until they get there and they play like crap. We just got to get it done with. We got to get it over with. They got to move on. So we'll move on now from Josh Jacobs to the CBS release of their top 100 NFL players for 2023-24. So what Raiders made the list? First of all, I think we all could figure out who number one was. I'm not going to tell you. Throw your comments out there. Tell me who you think number one was, the number one player overall on the top 100 NFL players list, and I will tell you if you are correct. So anyway, I'll move on to the Raiders. So we had 3 Raiders make the top 100 list, which sounds about right. To be 100% honest with you, that sounds about right. Their placements, I'm not so sure about it, but we'll go ahead and get into that. So at number 17, we had Davante Adams. And I thought he would have been a little bit higher. He was behind behind Tyreek, I think he was behind Justin Jefferson as well. The wide receiver in Cincinnati, whose name is escaping me. But he was also behind him. So I was kind of surprised, but he's a top 5 wide receiver. I did see Pro Football Focus release their top players for each position grouping, and they had Davante listed at number 1. So I don't know if he'd be number 1, but they had him over Justin Jefferson. But like I said, this past season, Davante Adams, fantastic. 100 catches. I think it was 15 touchdowns, 1,500 yards, something like that. And all that without Aaron Rodgers and with Derek Carr not playing his best. So then at number 38, you had Mad Max Crosby. I feel like that was a good spot for him. He is one of the best defensive ends in the league. Just not the best. And there's a lot out there. So he had a career high 12 and a half sacks this year. The pressures, I think he was at the top of the league again for quarterback pressures, quarterback hits. Dude is just unstoppable. He's out there every single play. Motor does not stop. Sometimes it gets him out of position a little bit, but the motor does not stop. Just go for Mad Max. And so he's at number 38, and I think that's a good spot. And then Josh Jacobs at number 52. I thought that might have been a little low for him for running backs, considering he was the best running back in the league last year. But, I'm not CBS, and I didn't put out the poll. So he was number 52. He had career year last year, led the league in rushing by I think 200-300 yards. I don't remember how many touchdowns he had. It was double digits. I want to say 12, but I think that's wrong. I feel like that's wrong. 12, 10, 12, something like that. He also caught well out of the backfield. So fantastic season for all 3 of those guys. Great season last year. They were easily our best players last year. And so to have three players in the top 100 for CBS, that sounds about right. The Raiders aren't good, but our best players, they are tops in the league. So kudos to those guys. Congratulations and all that good stuff. All right, so now I'm going to show you who a couple comments who they thought was going to be number 1 here in the CBS rankings. It was Maiko says Patty Mahomes. Adam Gled said Hurts. I think he means Jalen Hurts. And Maiko says Jamar Chase is the wide receiver from the Bengals. Yeah. I just couldn't think of his name. And I looked at it before I came on. Like, yeah, there's Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase was like 2 spots above him, maybe like a 15. But the number 1, CBS's number 1 player for the NFL this year is Patty Mahomes. Rightfully so. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. I don't think anybody can really hold a candle to him. Jalen Hurts is very close, but I really want to see what Jalen Hurts does for a couple seasons. But he was super dynamic last year, fantastic for the Eagles. Took care of the ball, ran the ball extremely well. That dual threat, was awesome for him. And he didn't take a lot of big hits either. Made it to the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and you just came up a little bit short. That's all. So Hurts, I'm not sure what number Hurts was, but I'm sure he was top 10 easy. But that's a good guess, Adam. But yeah, it was Patty Mahomes for the top 100. He was number. It's only CBS. What the hell? Yeah, that's a news company. What the hell are they even doing one for? Oh, because we got CBS Sports. Oh, okay. Well, here's Ken Fry Sports. Oh, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Now, if it was like like Pro Football Focus, their top 100, or ESPN, or a company that actually is involved in sports all the time. I don't know. It doesn't make sense what I'm saying right now, but it makes sense to me. That's all that matters. But we'll get off the Raiders and we'll move on to the Stanley Cup champions, Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights. I keep doing that. It's not Las Vegas Golden Knights. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. For some reason, I don't know why they dropped the loss out. Here's this side. See, I got messed up with the camera. They dropped all. It's just Vegas Golden Knights. But anyway. They have a couple of decisions, pretty big decisions to make coming up here in free agency. They have, I wrote down 5 of what I think is their biggest unrestricted free agents. They don't have a lot of cap space. From everything I've seen online, they have $3.5 million in cap space right now. Got a comment here. Let me hit the comment. Adam says Fox is better than CBS. I agree. But it's another news company. They're a news company. Don't sit there and pop your collar. There's my top 100. Bullshit. You're a news company. Whatever. It's a popularity contest for you. You're not even watching the film. I don't know. Anyway, the Golden Knights. So here are the top unrestricted free agents for the Golden Knights right now. You have Jonathan Quick. He made $5.8 million last year. Laurent Brossoit, goalie, $2.3 million last year. Ivan Barbashev, center, $2.25 last year. Aiden Hill, goalie, $2.1 million last year. And Philly Kessel, right winger, made $1.5 million last year. So Jonathan Quick gone. There's no thoughts, even re-signing Jonathan Quick. It was nice to have him along for the ride. He got his name on the cup again. As a Kings fan, I'm happy for him. He got his name out there. I wish he would have got a chance to play, but Aiden Hill was hot. Aiden Hill was fantastic in the playoffs. Aiden Hill was good. Not good. He was better than good during the regular season as well when he got his chance to play with all the goalie injuries. So Aiden Hill and Laurent Brossoit. So you have 3 goalies, unrestricted free agents. Jonathan Quick is gone. So you have 2 goalies, unrestricted free agents. Laurent Brossoit, who was good during the regular season as well when he got his opportunities. And, was hurt, during the regular season and got hurt during the playoffs again. So you have Brossoit and Hill. And like I said, Hill was fantastic through the Stanley Cup playoffs after he filled in for Brossoit. So who do you pick up there? It's, you already have the rookie goalie from this past year who would have been rookie of the year easily had he not gotten hurt halfway through the season. And you also have Robin Lehner, who I believe is still under contract for a couple more years, but is going through injuries and also a shit ton of crazy-ass legal issues that I talk about every week here about the snakes and all that stuff. And, exotic animals, whatever the hell he's got going on out there in the in Sin City. So who do you keep between Laurent Brossoit or Aiden Hill? So now Aiden, in my thoughts and my opinions, are Aiden Hill's price after the Stanley Cup playoffs went through the roof. It's probably the highest it's going to be right now. And it's going to be hard to let him walk because he was so good in the playoffs. It's going to be hard to let him walk. But if you do let him walk, I think Laurent Brossoit is just as good. It's going to be tough. I think Aiden Hill is going to cost more than Laurent Brossoit would, even though Laurent Brossoit made more than he did last season. But like I said, after that Stanley Cup run, it's all It's all Aiden Hill. He's the go-to guy. He's the go-to guy right now, and Logan Thompson is the rookie that's still under contract. I don't know how long he's under contract for. I'm looking this up here. Hang on. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2025. So you have Logan Thompson for a couple seasons yet. So you have Logan Thompson. He's probably going to come back as your starter. I think in my opinion, you re-sign Laurent Brossoit. He's going to be cheaper. You could probably backload a contract if you go a couple of years. Maybe take a lot of that salary cap hit with the bonus. Pay a lot of that out in bonus. So lessens your salary cap. What it's going to hit on your salary cap. Maybe then you have Ivan Barbashev and Phil Kessel. I think Phil Kessel's gone as well. He's up there in age, mid to late 30s. This was his only season with the Golden Knights. I think, in my opinion, Phil Kessel's gone as well. I don't know what they would get him at if they decide to keep him. Like I said, he made 1.5 last year. I don't know if they get him for that again. But I think he's gone. I think they really need to re-sign Ivan Barbashev. He was the center for their top line, I believe. Had a really good season this year, but he was also a catalyst for those other guys in the top line. Was able to there's something going on outside. I don't know what the hell it is. Was able to really kick things off with the top line. Get the offense going. Get them kick started because that top line in the I think it was the second round against the Oilers. I think it was against the Oilers. Was fantastic. Was outstanding. And they had to be against the Oilers. That top line. That's your best offensive guys are. They had to be on point, and they absolutely were. So, and Phil Kessel this past season, he played in all 82 games, but he also had his lowest point total since his rookie year. So, it's kind of one of those things. He's kind of on a downside now, downturn. If you re-sign him, and you're just basically put him in there as a filler, in my opinion, anyway. But anyway, that's what I would do if I was the Golden Knights. If I had to re-sign anybody out of those five, I would probably bring back Laurent Brossoit as a backup goalie behind Logan Thompson, and then also I'd bring back Ivan Barbashev. Like I said, right now $3.5 million cap space. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna have to do some magic, and they're gonna have to call Siegfried and Roy to do some illusions, and even though I think they're both dead now, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think both of them are dead now. So that would be a hell of an illusion if you get them out there and they're doing stuff. That'd be awesome. People's minds would be blown. So before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and do a sponsor read here. And let me get it. There it is. Monkey Cold Coffee. monkeycoldcoffee.com. Of course, you have the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee and the toasted coconut rum. And I just got a bag of toasted coconut rum in yesterday. And also I ordered a brand new mug. So tonight I actually made a picture of the toasted coconut rum cold brew, for tomorrow on my way to the softball tournament. So I'm super excited about that because I absolutely love the toasted coconut rum. When I opened that bag up, man, I stuck my face all up in there. I was just the aroma is fantastic. They also have T-shirts on their website. They have, like I said, the cold brew pitcher for sale. They got the two kinds of coffee, the bourbon chocolate chip and the toasted coconut rum. They have the K-Cup adapter, but they also have a rum cake on there also, which is really, really good. We were talking about that last night in the Atomic Drop podcast. You can find all this stuff at monkeycoldcoffee.com. And like I said, I used the promo code at checkout, OOTB Sports, for a discount. That's OOTB Sports at checkout. And for every bag of coffee sold, Monkey Cold Coffee donates a portion of the proceeds to pediatric cancer research. So even if you don't like coffee, go ahead and buy yourself a bag. Use it as a gift for somebody. Maybe a retirement party's going on. Somebody's retiring. You just don't want to get them the same old lame like gift card and a goofy ass 99-cent card that he's never going to read or she's never going to read. Give them a bag of coffee, something that they'll enjoy. So that's at monkeycoldcoffee.com. And like I said, at the checkout, use the promo code OOTB Sports for a discount. So we'll move on from the Vegas Golden Knights. That's what I have there. They enjoyed their parade, and now they're taking the cup on all sorts of trips now. So they're as happy as pig and slop, but they have some truths to face coming up here in free agency. So the Las Vegas Aces, the Lady Aces, last year's WNBA champions, are just steamrolling everybody right now in the WNBA, sitting at 11-1 currently, and it's the only team that's beat them is the top team in the East, Connecticut Sun, and the game before, Las Vegas Aces were able to beat the Connecticut Sun, which actually was probably that was the closest game so far this season for the Las Vegas Aces of the games that they've won anyway. Oh man, that's fantastic. I'm not even messing around. That's pink lemonade, moonshine, and iced tea. Out of this world. Eileen says, isn't the NHL draft coming up? Yes, it is. It is, and I know nothing about it. I'm not that entrenched into the NHL landscape to even begin to discuss draft. That's even the NFL draft is a little bit out of my own because I only watch a little bit of college football because usually I'm pretty busy on a Saturday. I watch a little bit of college football Thursday before I go to work, and sometimes Friday nights you'll get those crazy like Mountain West games or whatever. I'll watch a little bit of those, but Saturdays I might catch the end of a late game a little bit, but usually Saturdays we're pretty busy, and I don't see a whole lot of college football, so I don't know what the hell's going on sometimes. The NHL is even worse because there's a whole lot of guys to choose from, either from colleges or from different countries, and it just really gets a lot to know, a lot to learn with the NHL draft, and I have not even an inkling as to who's good and who's not good. It's zero. So, but Eileen, if you have any idea, you let me know. I am totally lost with the NHL draft, and I know I'll be watching LA Kings Twitter very close to see who my Kings are going to select and who they're looking at, the same as the Vegas Golden Knights. And it's kind of funny, not to get off the Las Vegas Aces subject here, but the Golden Knights, I don't know if it was a beat reporter for them, or it was kind of bashing the Philadelphia Flyers a little bit, saying the Philadelphia Flyers are trying to set their team up for the season the reverse way the Golden Knights did, whatever the hell that means. I guess they're saying that they're doing everything the opposite the Golden Knights did. So it sounded like they're taking a jab at the Flyers organization, but that could be me just reading into it. Maybe a little bit of bad blood there or something. I don't know. I think it says hell no, or she's saying hello no, but I think she means hell no. I don't know anything about it. Eileen says, I learned about the players the night of the draft. Yeah, you know what? For even for college, that's where I learn a lot about a lot of the players. Is the Raiders would pick somebody in the second round. I'm like, who's this guy? Then they'll talk about him for a second. Like, oh, okay, he looks pretty good. then I'll go onto the Google machine and type in some the guy's name and some words, and I'll learn a little bit more. But that's about it. For me with drafts, same thing with baseball. You're drafting kids out of high school and colleges, and again, different country. I think Major League Baseball has a I don't know what you would call it, a foreign draft or something like that, where you can draft the foreign players in a totally separate draft. I think there's something like that. I could be wrong though, or if that's a free agency thing, I don't know. But there is something separate for foreign-born players than there are North American players, I think. I think it says, all I know is Connor Bedard is going to the Blackhawks. You know what? I heard of Connor Bedard, and if you didn't say he's going to the Blackhawks, I would have been like, how do I know Connor Bedard? I've heard Connor Bedard. Why do I know Connor Bedard? Okay, hockey. MLB has the international draft or something. Yeah, there's something like that, something different for foreign-born players. And Adam Glenn says the Flyers are rebuilding. Speaking of the Flyers, I think there's a Sully squad thing on here. No, there's not. I don't see it anyway. But the Sully squad, I believe, is going to have a somebody from the Flyers on, maybe like a writer or a beat writer or something like that. I'm pretty sure coming up pretty soon. And also, speaking of Philly, there's going to be a new show coming up pretty soon called Fuji's Philly Flair. So starting Saturdays at 11 a.m. I'm not sure what the exact start date of that is, but look out for that. Talking all things Philly. So not just sports. I believe. I think it says pretty much everything. So be sure to check that out. Outside of the box, we have something for everybody. So. I think here's the Philly thing for Sully Squad. Yeah. So June 26th, Bill Meltzer, Flyers writer, will be on the Sully Squad. So make sure you check that out, Adam. The Sully Squad coming up. I guess that's this Monday. Got a couple comments here before I move on. Eileen, on a non-Raiders note, the Angels are up 20. Get the hell out of here. No, they're not. Messing with me saying stuff like that. What does Shohei Ohtani have 6 home runs? I don't believe it. I'm looking it up right now. You can see the glow on my face. Here's the phone. I got to look this up because that's unbelievable. 23 to, oh my God, there it is. 23-0. I bet that douchebag Eduardo Escobar probably has like 2 grand slams. Oh, it's going to piss me off. Trout homer, Drury homer. Tyus, I don't know what the hell who that guy is. Homered. Ohtani singled. There's Escobar. God damn it. Already an RBI. Mickey Moniak. Philly fans know him. Homered. Moniak again. Wow, that's unbelievable. That is absolutely insane. It's in Colorado, so that does make a little bit of sense. But I'm looking at the at-bats now. Ohtani 1 for 5. And it's the fourth. It's the fourth inning. That's insane. Oh my God! The Anderson, the pitcher for the Rockies, 2 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs. Wow. Then Karasati, whoever the hell that is, a third of an inning, 6 earned runs. But it gets worse. Davis, the pitcher for the Rockies, 1 inning, 8 earned runs. Because you can't put a position player in, I don't think, until the 8th inning or later in a game. And it has to be like 10 or more runs, I think, or something like that. Man, that's rough. 23-0. Makes me happy to be a Mets fan. Yeah, tomorrow the Phillies will probably beat them 23-0. Wow. 5 at-bats, 4th inning. Unbelievable. I'm glad you brought that up. That's fantastic. This isn't just a Raiders show. This is a sports show. I think I've talked about like 10 different teams already besides Las Vegas teams. So whatever you guys want to bring up, I'm game for. It could be anything from sports, anything from life, love, happiness, ice cream, sandwiches, pets, whatever. It's a podcast. I'll talk about what I want to talk about, and 90% of it is nonsensical and false. Fake news. That's what the bat fry is. Fake news. So the Las Vegas Lady Ace is absolutely rolling. 11-1 right now. I think they're 5.5 up. I last time I looked at the standings, 5.5 games up. Nobody else in the West has a winning record. So I think they're actually 6.5 up. 11-1. I think the team behind them is 6-7. So I think that might be 6.5 games. I don't know. Adam Glenn says Phillies 23, Mets, nothing would be great. I'm telling you what, man. I'm wearing my Mets stuff tonight. The Mets actually won, but I wear my Mets stuff anytime. It's not about winning. When you're a fan, you're a fan. It doesn't matter win, lose, draw. It hurts a lot when they lose, but sitting at 11-1, nice, comfortable lead in the West. They're outscoring their opponents by 194 points this year, which is insane. I think that's the biggest margin so far since the WNBA has been in operation. It could be the first WNBA team to shoot 50% from the floor. Right now they're at 504. So I guess that'd be 50.4%, which is amazing in itself. Two-time MVP A'ja Wilson, front runner for a third. She's already at averaging 18.6 points and almost 10 rebounds, 9.3. I talked about her last week a little bit. Absolutely amazing, this team. Outscoring their opponents, I want to say by an average of 19 points, but I think I could be wrong on that one. I did look it up. I should have wrote it down because I forget everything. But they've been dominant. I mean, absolutely dominant. Like I said, the only team to beat them, Connecticut Sun, and the game before they beat the Connecticut Sun, I think by I feel like it was 11, 12 points, but then the Connecticut Sun came back and beat them by I think 20 points or more. But anyway, they're easily their closest game of the season. They beat back-to-back teams by 30 plus points. I'm not sure who they were because I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. And it's just pure dominance, top to bottom. Best team offensively in the league, best team defensively in the league. So when you have the best team offensively and defensively, that means you are the best team in the league, hands down. Coming up in a few weeks, we're going to have a beat writer from the Las Vegas Aces on the show where we'll talk Las Vegas Aces. I don't watch basketball a whole lot. I watch a little bit of playoff basketball, but I'm going to start checking out this the WNBA because I like women's basketball. I like the shooting and stuff like that. And I'm not big into the flashy basketball, like the whole the talking and I'm not really into that. I like good shooting, good passing, good defense, and it seems like the Las Vegas Aces definitely have all that checked off right now. And Adam Glenn wants to know, can we change the name of the Bat Cave to 86 and forever? I'll tell you what, Adam Glenn, if the Phillies get more World Series than the Mets, like right now, I believe they both have 2 World Series. The Mets have 69 and 86, and the Phillies have 80 or 81, and was it 2016, a couple years ago or whatever it was. So if the Phillies, or when was that? Was it 2006? I think it was 2000. I don't know when it was. The Phillies pass the Mets out in World Series, then I'll change the name. I could be wrong with the Phillies World Series. They might have 3 already. I don't know. I think they're at 3. Now I'm regretting saying that. I'm not changing the name to 86 and forever. All right? Stupid. You sound like Big Mike there. Always saying 86 and forever. It hurts my heart every time I hear it. Speaking of 86 and forever, Joe Sullivan from the Sully Squad and from Extra Innings, he'll be bringing back his show called Old School. And one of the shows will be Joe and I, and we're going to talk about the 1980s Mets, especially late 80s Mets, and the years where there could have been so much more. They won it in 86. They had a hell of a season in 88. They should have won more than one championship with that team. So we're going to look into that a little bit, take a little bit of a deep dive into it, and shoot the shit about it. So you'll be on the lookout for that. For Joe Sullivan's Old School will be coming up probably sometime in July around the All-Star break, which is only actually a couple weeks away. So there we go. Plug for that. Before I move on to the next topic, I'm going to go ahead and read another sponsor tag here. And It's our boy, Jay Fine Law, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. You can call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895, or our boy Maiko Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. Jay Fine Law now has three offices throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Starting off in the Garden State, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, at 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill. The number there is 856-209-5258. Then you head to the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and their address at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The number there is 412-365-8151. Then you head yourself back across the state to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with offices located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120, located in the city of brotherly love. The number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jay Fine Law. Big Al. Tell him the Vegas sports scene sent you. And he'll hook you up with a good price, a good rate. So tell him the Bat Fry sent you from Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Adam says, I was a Mets fan in the late 80s. Everybody was a Mets fan in the late 80s. You know, Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden, just, you know, those two guys alone, you know, to be honest with you. I was a big Howard Johnson fan, so you had Hojo, Gary Carter. I think Kevin Mitchell might still been on the team in the late 80s. I know he was for the World Series. So, yeah, a ton of great players with the Mets. But, you know, should have won more than one World Series. But shoulda, woulda, coulda, shit in one hand and wish in the other and see what fills up faster, right? So we're going to move on to, speaking of crap, we're going to move on to the A's. And the A's stink. So, yeah, that's about that. 1-9 in their last 10. They finally got to 20 wins. You know, we're almost at the halfway point of the season, so good for them. And they're easily the worst team in baseball. They do have a league leader in stolen bases, so that's a bright spot. But that's pretty much it. Nobody goes to the games. Nobody cares. But like I said before, this is not like the A's, I should say. They were, I don't want to say a perennial playoff team, but they've been in the playoffs a good bit the last 15 years, 20 years. You know, they've been in and out of the playoffs. So it's not like they're, you know, on a 20-year stink, you know, like 20 years without a playoff appearance or anything like that. They've been in and out of the playoffs. They've had some really good teams, but just, you know, not being able to get to the World Series. And so this year's kind of like an aberration a little bit, how bad it is, you know, just, you know, really stinking the place up. But like Rob and I said, you know, if they're going to move to Las Vegas, which they are, they're going to have to spend a little bit of money to bring in some named free agents to kind of put asses in the seats, and then, you know, turn the franchise around and start winning the way they were winning before. You know, at least make playoff runs, be relevant a little bit. So that's a lot. It's a lot of games at home when you're not winning. 81 games at home, and if you're not winning, that's a lot of games. When you're winning, it's not a lot of games. You know, it's, you know, you want to be home all the time then, but when you're not winning, Adam Glass's worst team ever. They could be. They very well could be. I don't know whether if they're still on pace to beat the 62 Mets, or I think it was there's a team from the early 1900s that's even worse than the 62 Mets. And but yeah, they're bad. They're really, really bad. And that's all I got to say about the A's right now. I'm going to move on to the show schedule here. Wind the show down here. We me get that banner off of there. A's stink. They're gonna get the. There it goes. So here on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, we have something for everybody. Mondays you have 4 p.m. You have the Joystick Junkies. 6 p.m. the Sully Squad. 8:30 p.m. the Big Blue Power Hour, talking New York Giants football. Tuesdays at 8:30 you have Extra Innings, talking all of Major League Baseball. Probably not the Athletics though. Wednesdays, 10 a.m. you have the Batcave. That's when you'll see me next. Talking New York Mets baseball. 8 p.m. you have College Football Frenzy. That returns July 27th, I believe it is. And then at 9:30 p.m. you have Dem 215 Boys talking Dallas Cowboy football. Thursdays you have Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room podcast talking all Philly sports. Fridays at 10:30 p.m. you have our newest show, the Atomic Drop podcast, talking WWE wrestling, past and present. And Saturdays at 10 p.m., of course, you have me here, the Vegas sports scene. Talking Las Vegas sports. That's Raiders, Golden Knights, Las Vegas Aces, and soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics. Coming soon, you have Fuji's Philly Flair, the Commanders Gridiron, NFC East Roundtable, pre- and post games for the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Debate show possibly. The Old School Hour coming up. A ton of stuff. A ton of shows. Something for everybody. And if you're interested in doing a podcast or even hopping on, if you're a big fan of one of these teams that we're already covering and you want to hop on for a show, reach out to us, let us know, and we can figure something out. All right. It'd be fun. We have plenty of guests on. It'd be a lot of fun to have a fan on, just a regular fan, and shoot the breeze about their favorite team. I got a comment before I send off here, and Adam Glenn says the wrestling show is all. Thank you, Adam Glenn. I appreciate that very much. That was our first episode 2 Fridays ago. That was the first time I was nervous about doing a show, probably since the beginning when I first started doing the Vegas sports scene. My first episode in the Vegas sports scene I did with Paul Spencer, Maiko, and I was extremely nervous for that. And for that wrestling show 2 weeks ago, I was very nervous for that as well. So, every other show in between I was fine with, I was good with. But yeah, it seems like it's going well. It seems like people are really digging it, and I'm happy that they're liking it and checking it out. And spread the word, buddy. Spread the word to everybody that you know. We're gonna start having some guests coming on the Atomic Drop podcast. A former Glow wrestler is going to be on. She's also a stunt actress, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of her name right now, but she's going to be on coming up very soon. I reached out to Andy Header. He's an indie wrestler, Serious Business Andy Header. That's what I was trying to think of his gimmick name. Serious Business Andy Header. He said he would come on also. So so we're lining up some guests for the Atomic Drop podcast, to make it a lot of fun. And spread the word and let's get more people on the show, more people interacting. It's always a lot of fun. We have people shooting comments out, interacting, sharing their opinions, jokes, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I said, anything. Doesn't have to be particular to that sport, but whatever you want to, shoot it out there. So that's what I got for tonight, whatever the hell you want to call it. Thanks for checking out the show. Thanks for commenting. Be sure to check me out Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Batcave. And hopefully when I'm talking Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Batcave, I'm telling you all about how the Mets took the series from the Phillies and they've turned their season around. So I doubt it, but hoping. Thanks for checking it out. Let's go Raiders. See you.